Hello folks! In this video I will be sharing my Ninja Lockdown deck, prepared for the 2020 format and built to beat Adamancipator and Eldritch if you go first. Let's jump right into the profile and I'll describe the cards as we go along. First off, it wouldn't be a ninja deck without 3 copies of Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. Able to search any ninja when flip or special summoned, and searching any ninjutsu art card when he's normal summoned, Hanzo is the most useful card in the deck and you are never unhappy to draw a copy. Next, 3 Upstart Golden Ninja, aka Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon sends a trap from your hand to graveyard to summon any level 4 or lower ninja from your deck, which is not a hard once per turn, so you can chain copies of him together. You will often summon an Upstart Golden off of an Upstart Golden, and then use the second Upstart Golden to summon Hanzo for a search. 3 Twilight Ninja Jogan. This has a pendulum effect which grants piercing to ninjas, which is whatever, but his monster effect allows you to summon him from hand by revealing a ninjutsu art card, and that's not once per turn. Much better. Because he's one of the best extenders ninjas have, we run 3. Next, 3 copies of Yellow Ninja. His effect simply lets you summon a level 4 or lower ninja from the hand when you normal summon him, which locks you into ninjas from the extra deck for the turn, but that's okay. It's a pretty weak effect by meta standards, but it's still essential because it allows the deck access to their powerful archetypal link. 2 copies of Twilight Ninja Shingetsu. This protects your other ninjas from being attacked or targeted by card effects while it's face up on the field, which does form a lock if you get both copies on the field at the same time, and when it's destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effect, you search any ninja monster. It's not particularly powerful, but the deck just needs a critical mass of ninjas to summon for their ninjutsu art cards and swarming effects. Finally, we have 1 Masked Ninja Abisu. This is mostly run as a unique combination of effect and attribute that allow it to be used in niche scenarios. For 1, the spell and trap bouncing effect can re-establish a lock on your opponent or clear the way for a Utopia double OTK. For another, being wind in level 4 means it can be used for Dark Simorg in a pinch, and is a good target for the ninjutsu arts. It's not strong by itself, but in the context of what our deck is trying to do, it's a nice option. That's it for ninja monsters in the main. Now for the ninjutsu arts. 2 Hidden Village of Ninjutsu Arts. The unique Ninja Field spell, this allows you to recycle ninja or ninjutsu art cards from your graveyard whenever you summon a ninja, although you can't activate those cards or their effects for the rest of the turn. Additionally, if a ninja or ninjutsu art card you control will be destroyed by your opponent, you can banish a ninja monster from the graveyard instead. It's not a critical piece of any of your boards, but the card advantage, recycling, and protection it gives makes it worth the slots. 3 Ninjutsu Art Notebook. You can send a ninja monster from your hand to graveyard in order to set any ninjutsu art card from your deck. This helps clear bricks out of the hand and turn them into useful cards, which makes our lockdown more consistent to access. 2 Armor Ninjutsu Art of Alchemy. You can destroy all face-up ninjutsu art cards you control, minimum 1, to draw 2 cards. This, combined with Ninjutsu Art Notebook, turns Notebook plus a ninja monster into a pseudo-destiny draw or trade-in, letting you dig further into your deck for resources. This is also useful with Hidden Village to draw 2 on the spot, and can be used to clear out transformation traps that have become decoupled from their targets. 1 Ninjutsu Art of Shadow Sealing. Tribute a ninja monster to banish a monster your opponent controls and lock them out of using that zone until Sealing leaves the field. Used for spot removal, this used to form a pseudo-extra link with size 1/1 extra monster zone and Sealing on the opponent's other zone. Nowadays it's still strong as it can lock your opponent out of link summoning or pendulum summoning from the extra deck, but Master Rule 5 overall made this card a lot weaker. 1 Armor Ninjutsu Art of Rust Mist. One of the coolest artworks in the game, this is useful to protect our locked pieces from battle destruction by permanently halving the attack of all of your opponent's monsters that they summon while we control a ninja. 1 Ninjutsu Art of Super Transformation. By sending a ninja monster and a monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, you can summon a dragon, dinosaur, or sea serpent from your deck with a level less than or equal to the combined levels of the monsters tributed on the field. This means that any of our level 4s, plus a level 4 or higher on the opponent's field, allows us to summon our 1-card lockdown target, a Morphage Goliath. Speaking of, this 1 copy of a Morphage Goliath allows a simple Hanzo normal summon to lock the extra deck down and send the opponent's first level 4 or higher monster to the grave. Not bad for an archetype that's been around since 2002. 2 Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. This is the card that allows us to build our own permanent Mystic Mine that we are unaffected by. By tributing a face-up ninja monster, you can summon any beast, winged beast, or insect monster from the hand or deck with a level less than or equal to that ninja's level plus 3. The targets for this card are both Winged Beast, 1 Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, and 1 Dark Simorg. Speaking of, this 1 copy of Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds prevents any monster from being special summoned except wind attribute monsters. 1000 defense might not be much, but it's a powerful floodgate effect and prevents your opponent from using cards like Kaijus to break your lock. Additionally, there are plenty of hands for most meta decks where they just flat out can't out this thing, and even if they can, they usually lose their battle phase, giving you a chance to bring it back. As for Dark Simorgh, the floodgate boss monster that prevents your opponent from setting any cards, spells, traps, or monsters, can special summon itself from graveyard by banishing a dark and a wind from hand, or from hand by banishing a wind and a dark from the graveyard, which this deck can do somewhat reliably since Hanzo, Jogan, and Shingetsu are dark, while Yellow and Abisu are wind, and they can all be discarded on Notebook. However, the vast majority of the time you'll be summoning it off of Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. It's pretty good by itself versus Eldritch, because you can't set traps to activate them, so they'll need to have Golden Lord in hand to out it a lot of the time. But the real strength comes from its synergy with our next card. 3 Performapal 5 Rainbow Magician. This odd little pendulum card has an unusual effect based on the number of set cards that each player controls. If you control no set cards, you can't attack or activate any monster effects, kind of like Mystic Mine. And if you control 4 or more set spells or traps, the attacks of all your monsters becomes doubled. What makes this card so genuinely abusable in the deck is the ease with which we summon Dark Simorgh. If you summon Simorgh on your first turn, and have 5 Rainbow Magician and Pendulum Scale, your opponent can't activate any monster effects or attack until they set a card, but they can't set a card to do Simorgh. Versus decks with no spell-based spell and trap removal, this essentially wins you the game on the spot. Not even Conquistador of the Golden Land can out it, since Simorgh prevents them from setting it in the first place. The only cards that work to out this lock are evenly matched, Infinite Impermanence, spell removal like Cosmic Cyclone, or Kaiju-type cards, which themselves are blocked by the barrier statue if you had a great opening. Additionally, the mere activation of 5 Rainbow in your Pendulum Zone prevents your opponent from using monster hand traps on you while you do your plays, so it functions as a pseudo Call by the Grave. You can still use your effects as long as you have 1 card to set the back row, so it's very safe to use this way, and quite strong since Ash Blossom is otherwise very powerful against us. That's it for our Ninjutsu art cards and our lockdown pieces. Moving on to generic cards. Since the cards that this lock loses to are spells or specific traps, we run 3 copies of Solemn Judgment as a catch-all answer to whatever threat our opponent might pose. It protects the lockdown from spell and trap removal, and while we don't have the lock, can save the game by negating a critical summon or activation. To help establish the lock, we also run 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Since 5 Rainbow Magician places itself in your Pendulum Scale from the graveyard whenever you set a spell or trap card, Foolish is itself essentially a 4th copy of 5 Rainbow. We are running 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army. This searches any of our low-level ninjas as needed. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, which is the best hand trap right now, can't be hit by Called by the Grave, and can be sent to graveyard by Upstart Golden Ninja's effect when needed. And to round the deck out, 1 copy of Double or Nothing. This is essential to allow the deck to close out games using the always powerful Utopia package. That's it for the generics. Moving on to the extra deck. The extra deck for ninjas is mostly comprised of generic links, rank 4 XCs, and the linchpin link monster, Ninja Grandmaster Saizo, which we run 3 copies of. Saizo is the strongest ninja card printed since Hanzo, and is in fact so powerful that it makes us willing to run cards like Yellow Ninja just to access him. Summoned with 2 ninja monsters, he can set any ninjutsu art card from the deck once per turn, every turn. Additionally, as long as he points to a ninja monster, he can't be targeted by attacks or for card effects. It's a simple effect, but one that does wonders for consistency. By turning any 2 ninja monsters into Saizo plus any ninjutsu art, he allows us access to any of our 3 lockdowns easily, depending on what else we have in our hand. In the worst case scenario, he can even fix our hand by setting an Armored Ninjutsu Art of Alchemy or a Ninjutsu Art Notebook to draw us into key cards like 5 Rainbow Magician. For the rest of the links, we are running 1 Nightmare Phoenix as a generic out to touchy back row, as well as Borreload Dragon as a generic out to touchy monsters on the field, and Borrelsword Dragon to push for game easily. Notably, Saizo and Jogan both have 2000 attacks, so Borrelsword Dragon can pick up the easy OTK into an opposing board that's empty due to having been locked out for a turn. I'm also running 1 copy of Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. Because Jogan is level 7, we can summon this with the targeting and destruction prevention fairly often, and if you boost it to 4500, it can be nigh impossible for Eldritch to out it, especially the combo builds. The rest of the extra deck is rank 4 XCs. I'm mostly focused on going second cards and cards that help close out the game, since ninjas can lock the game down effectively themselves but have trouble finishing opponents off in a timely manner, and additionally have trouble going second. I look to shore those weaknesses up with the extra deck. So, we are running 1 Blade Armor Ninja, the other ninja extra deck monster, which means it can be summoned in the same turn that used Yellow Ninja's effect. Blade Armor is worth 4400 damage by itself. Notably, this makes 8,000 if you have a Simorg and a Sizer remaining on the field with it, so if your lockdown follow-up includes a Yellow Ninja, you can still attack for game. 1 Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. This is the best rank 4 option ninjas have for dealing with large boards of non-negation card advantage, such as the ones put up by non-combo Eldritch. It can be nice to have in grind games as well, forcing your opponents to get rid of it before their battle phase, but the true power of Exciton Knight is when combined with Dark Ruler No More in a post-sideboard game. Resolving Dark Ruler into Exciton Knight is a rush, and will win you the game a majority of the time against decks that burn all of their resources in a turn 1 combo. 1 Tornado Dragon. The best back row answering rank 4 in the game and a half-decent turn 1 play versus back row decks when your hand is incredible. Tornado Dragon turns 2 level 4 monsters into 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. Need I say more? 1 Abyss Dweller. The strongest Floodgate rank 4 available to us, and crucial to help deal with graveyard-based decks. Like Tornado Dragon, this is a strong turn 1 play versus certain decks, especially when your hand is already amazing, and it can save you in the duel in a grindy game by turning off or forcing out cards like Gizmek Orochi. I'm also running the full Utopia package. 1 number 39 Utopia, 1 number 39 Utopia Double, and 1 number S39 Utopia the Lightning. Utopia Double is there to search up Double or Nothing, then overlay into either a 5,000 attack OTK machine with the OG Utopia, or a 5,000 attack Boss Monster Murder machine in Utopia the Lightning. Both are fantastic in their own right and help close out games going second or in the third turn after locking your opponent out. And finally, the Signature Spice, 1 Kangorgan Antiluminescent Knight. You can detach a material from this card to change the target of one of your opponent's cards to another appropriate target on the field. This is critical for protecting a barrier statue setup from Eldritch the Golden Lord, and can even mess up certain combos by preventing your opponent from targeting their own cards. It also allows you to protect your 5 Rainbow Magician by redirecting your opponent's Cosmic Cyclone to something like a Notebook or Hidden Village, further reducing their chances of outing your lockdown. That's it for the extra deck, so I'm going to take a brief pause before we hit the side deck to go through a very basic combo that establishes the lockdown. The starting hand for this hypothetical combo will be 1 Upstart Golden Ninja, any trap, and 1 Ninjutsu Art. Normal summon Captain Falcon, then discard a trap to summon a Hanzo from deck. Hanzo will search Jogen, which you can then special summon by revealing the Ninjutsu Art card in your hand. Link summon Saizo using any 2 of the ninja, then use Saizo effect to set either Ninjutsu Art of Super Transformation or Ninjutsu Art of Transformation from your deck. If you want to make a Morphage Goliath, search Ninjutsu Art of Super Transformation. If you opened up Performapal 5 Rainbow Magician, and you want to make Dark Simorg for the lockdown, search Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. If you think that the Barrier Statue of Stormwinds would be useful, you should also search Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. If you already have your transformation of choice in hand, you can also set either Alchemy or Notebook to draw cards and try to get access to 5 Rainbow that way if you don't have it already. In any case, you now have Saizo pointing to a ninja, with a Floodgate option of your choice in the back row in the form of a transformation trap, plus 2 other cards and your starting Ninjutsu Art card in hand at a minimum. It's worth noting that even an incredibly simple hand of Hanzo and 5 Rainbow Magician is the full lockdown on your opponent. Normal Hanzo, search Ninjutsu Art of Transformation and set it, activate Performapal 5 Rainbow Magician in the Pendulum Zone, and pass. On your opponent's turn, shotgun the transformation to turn your Hanzo into a Dark Simorg, and your opponent is locked out of monster effects, and attacking, and they can't set any cards to let themselves out of the lock. Against a lot of decks, this is just a free win. Now that I've shown the basics of the lockdown, and how easy it can be to establish one, let's finish the profile off by checking out the sideboard. Because this deck is so bad at going second, I chose to run 12 going second sideboard cards and only 3 for going first. To start off with, the 3 cards I side in when I know I'm going first are Anti-Spell Fragrance. Not only do these prevent your opponent from breaking your lockdown with their own sideboarded Lightning Storms, Cosmic Cyclones, or Dark Ruler No Mores, they also have the fascinating ability to prevent your opponent from activating any effects if you have this out alongside Dark Simorg and 5 Rainbow Magician. 5 Rainbow Magician prevents monster effects, and Anti-Spell Fragrance means your opponent must set spells and traps before they can be activated. But Simorg prevents that. If you have all 3 face up, the only things your opponent can do to break your board are activate traps in hand like Impermanence or Evenly Matched, or summon a Kaiju or a Lava Golem. Since it functions as protection for any of your combos, it's anti-sad deck protection, and it's a lockdown piece, all in one, it's more than deserving of its status as our only going first sideboard card. For going second, I heavily sideboard to beat our opponent with Utopia Double or break their boards with Exciton Knight wherever possible. Since our go second options are so weak in archetype, I'm siding only the strongest go second cards. 3 Dark Ruler No More to break boards with Exciton, and as the only card that allows us a realistic chance to play versus not Emancipator board. 3 Dimension Shifter as the hands down strongest hand trap versus any graveyard deck. 3 Nibiru the Primal Being as the only other hand trap that actually does anything versus that Emancipator. Then one each of Raigeki, Mind Control, and Dino Wrestler Pankratops to help break boards rather than simply prevent or disable them. Dino Wrestler Pankratops in particular has great synergy with the deck, since it can be summoned off of Ninjutsu Art of Super Transformation as an additional interruption, which can be used as a going first sideboard option in some extremely normal summon reliant matchups. That's it for the deck. If you have any questions about how to play ninjas in 2020, please let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it. And please do subscribe if you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles. Thanks for watching!